Hi Rebecca, I'm just recording a video here to help you with exercise 11. Hopefully there's audio this time. So 11.1, let me just make sure it was 11 before I start doing it. Or if you specifically said which one it was. I'm struggling with exercise 11 in the revision work from school. Okay, cool. So 11.1, start with that. So it says here, if sine theta is equal to 3 over 5, and theta is less than 90 degrees. So if theta is less than 90 degrees, this is telling us that this is happening in quadrant 1. So let's go to A. It's in quadrant 1, which is over here, right? So it says represent the information in the diagram on the Cartesian plane. So it's going to look, now let me draw it nicely, something like that. The right angle here, and then sine we know is a opposite over hypotenuse. So if the opposite is 3, the hypotenuse is going to be 5. So that's theta. Therefore, the adjacent is going to be 4 because we know 5 squared is equal to 3 squared plus adjacent squared. Therefore, adjacent is equal to 4. Cool. So that's how we've represented the information on a Cartesian plane. Next, it says find, without the use of a calculator, tan theta, cos theta, and tan theta times sine theta. So first, B, I. What is tan theta? Tan is opposite over adjacent, which is opposite 3 over adjacent, which is 4. So tan theta, oopsies, theta is equal to 3 over 4. Excellent. I cos theta is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse, opposite the right angle. So it is 4 over 5. And then 3, I says, what is tan theta times sine theta? Oopsies, sorry, I don't know what's going on there. See, we know tan theta is 3 over 4. We know sine theta is 3 over 5. So this is equal to 9 over 20. Excellent. Just gonna check the memo on this document just to make sure I'm not rushing and lying to you. 3 over 4, 4 over 5, 9, 2. Excellent. Okay. 11.2 says if 12 tan P is equal to 5 and P is acute, use a sketch to find the value of. Okay. So 12 tan P is equal to 5. And they say P is acute. So if P is acute, it means P is between 0 and 90, right? Which means what quad are we in? Quad 1. And it says here, use a sketch to find the value of. So let's do that. But before we go there, 12 tan P is equal to 5. Let's simplify that. Let's divide both sides by 12. Divide by 12, divide by 12. Cancel, cancel. We have tan P is equal to 5 over 12. And now we could use this to draw our sketch. We know we are in what quadrant? Quadrant number 1, because P is acute, which they told us. So it's a right angle. Tan is opposite over adjacent. So that means opposite is 5, adjacent is 12. How do we find the length of the hypotenuse? We use Pythagoras. 5 squared plus 12 squared is equal to, I'm just going to say h for hypotenuse equal to h squared. So 169 is equal to h squared. Therefore, h is equal to 13 units. So we know the hypotenuse is 13. Excellent. So I'm actually not going to do the questions for you. Question 11.2.1, 11.2.2, because I want you to give that a try now that you've got this diagram here. And then 11.2.3. 11.2.3 is quite important. 11.2.3. It asks for the value of sine squared p plus cos squared p. This is an identity you must learn because this is just equal to 1. Because sine squared x plus cos squared x is equal to 1, no matter what x is. So this is an identity you must know. But also what I want you to do for practice is find the value of sine p squared, find the value of cos p squared, and verify that it is equal to 1. Then for 11 point, so I'm going to leave the rest of 11.2 for you. If you do need help, pop me a message. Let's come to 11.3. It tells us sine p is equal to 5 over 13. And p is between 90, p and 180. So what quad is this? Quadrant 2. Quadrant 2. So once again, I think it's very helpful to use a sketch, even though it doesn't say here in the question, use a sketch. So let's use a sketch. What quad are we in? Quad 2. So we're going to draw. And we know here that sine is positive in quadrant 2, right? And this verifies that. 5 over 13 is positive, and sine is positive because it's all A, S, D, C. So we know sine is positive here, so that's excellent. So what is sine? Sine is opposite, so that's 5 over hypotenuse, which is 13. So we know the adjacent is 12 because it's the same type of triangle as this one up here. Excellent. Again, I'm not going to do the question for you. I'm showing you how to draw your graph here. Now let's go on to 11.4. 3 tan beta plus 4 is equal to 0. And cos beta is greater than 0. Okay, now we need to be very careful. What you must aim to do when doing these types of questions is isolate your trigonometric ratio. So we want to isolate tan beta. Very similar to what we did up here, where we isolated tan p. So what's our first step in isolating tan beta? Let's minus 4 both sides to get rid of the 4. So minus 4, minus 4. So we get 3 tan beta is equal to minus 4. Then, what are we going to do next? We're going to divide both sides by 3. Tan beta is equal to minus 4 divided by 3. Okay, now we must be careful because we aren't sure what quadrant we're going to be working in. So let's just draw our quadrants. So we know tan is negative. So we know it's not in quadrant 1 or in quadrant 3 because we know all are positive here and tan is positive here. So it's not in these two quadrants. But now, is it in quadrant 2 or quadrant 4? How are we going to figure that out? They've told us cos beta is greater than 0. So they've told us cos is greater than 0. So where's cos greater than 0? Here, but we know that's not right, but it's also positive here. So we are going to work in quadrant 4. Remember, always connect your triangle back, oopsies, always connect your triangle back to the x-axis. And then here's beta. tan is opposite over adjacent. Let me just draw arrows there rather. Silly. Opposite over adjacent. So our opposite is equal to -4, which makes sense, right? Because this is below the y-axis. So this is going to be, oopsies, -4. And then our adjacent is 3, which means our hypotenuse is again going to be 5, because 3 squared plus 4 squared is equal to 8 squared. Therefore, our hypotenuse is equal to 5 units. And again, I'm not going to answer the questions here. This is just how to draw the graph. So I'm going to help you with 11.5, and then I'm going to call it there. And I want you to try the rest by yourself. If you do need help with them, do please pop me a message. So 11.5, they've told us 2 sine theta minus 1 is equal to 0. Excuse me. And theta is an element of 90 to 360. So we know, if we just draw our Cartesian plane here quickly, the angle is somewhere here, right? It's between 90 and 360. So we're not going to work in quadrant 1. That's the first thing. So what did I say? In the previous question, we must always aim to isolate our sine theta, right? So how do we isolate that? Our first step is to plus 1 both sides. 2 times sine theta is equal to 1. Next step is divide by 2 both sides, because we want to isolate sine. Cancel, cancel. We get sine theta is equal to 1 over 2. Is 1 over 2 positive or negative? It's positive, right? So now we need to figure out which quadrant we're working with. We already know it's not quadrant 1 because theta is between 90 and 360. So let's see. Where is sine positive? We know everything's positive here. We know sine's positive here. We know tan is positive here, and we know cos is positive here. So we are working in quadrant 2 again. Boom, boom. So again, sine is opposite over adjacent. So our opposite is 1. I'm silly. Sorry. It's opposite over hypotenuse, isn't it? Opposite over hypotenuse. So here's our theta. Our opposite is 1. Our hypotenuse is 2. So our adjacent is equal to, let's do some Pythagoras. So we're just going to call that a for now. 1 squared plus a squared is equal to 2 squared. So a squared is equal to 3. Therefore, a is equal to the square root of 3. So I'm going to rub this out here quickly. Okay, so this is how you should approach these questions. Always draw a graph to make determining the other trigonometric ratios a lot easier. For example, now you want to find tan. We know tan is what? Opposite 1 over square root of 3. Ooh, I must be careful here. I've made a little bit of mistake. This should be negative, right? Because we are on the left of the y-axis, therefore all of these values are negative here. And also we know that all values are positive here. Only sine is positive in the second quadrant. Only tan is positive in the third quadrant. Only cos is positive in the fourth quadrant. So this needs to be negative. So I come back here. Just need to make sure I haven't made a mistake. This is negative. Excellent. Come to this graph. This should be -12, shouldn't it? Because it's on the left of the y-axis. All of these values should be positive. Excellent. All of these should be positive as well. Okay, cool. Please do pop me a message if you need any more help with these questions, but I do think definitely give them a try after I've shown you how to draw the graphs.